A crew sits 50 feet underground in a reinforced concrete capsule somewhere in the northern Great Plains. 2 officers, 2 keys, 24-hour shifts, watching screens that display the status of 10 intercontinental ballistic missiles in hardened silos scattered across miles of prairie. The missiles are always ready. The warheads are always armed. The launch sequence can be executed in minutes. The newest missile they're monitoring was built in 1978. That's not a typo. The weapon system responsible for 1/3 of America's nuclear deterrent is nearly 50 years old. Components are failing. Parts are no longer manufactured. Some systems are so obsolete that the engineers who designed them are retired or dead. And yet these missiles remain on alert, every day, every hour, aimed at targets that could end civilization. This is not sustainable, and the cost of replacing them is spiraling into territory no one anticipated. The replacement is called the LGM-35 Sentinel, and it may be the most strategically consequential, politically controversial, and financially staggering weapons program the United States has ever attempted. 400 Minuteman III missiles sit in silos across Montana, North Dakota, and Wyoming. They've been there since 1970. They were designed for a 30-year service life. They're now entering their 6th decade. The solid rocket motors are degrading. The guidance systems are held together with life extension programs that are themselves reaching their limits. The infrastructure, the silos, the command centers, the launch facilities, all of it is deteriorating faster than it can be repaired. And every day that passes, the risk increases, because these missiles don't just sit there as a symbolic deterrent. They are the land-based leg of the nuclear triad. Bombers can be shot down. Submarines, while survivable, operate in an environment where anti-submarine warfare is advancing. ICBMs are fast, always ready, and create a targeting problem that no adversary can ignore. An enemy planning a first strike has to account for 400 missiles that can launch within minutes. But only if the missiles work, only if they're credible, only if adversaries believe they will launch. And that credibility is eroding. The contract was awarded to Northrop Grumman in 2020. Initial operational capability is planned for the early 2030s. Full deployment into the 2040s. 400 missiles. Same fields, same mission. Continuous deterrence throughout the transition. The initial cost estimate was $96 billion. That estimate is now obsolete. In 2024, the Department of Defense confirmed that costs had breached $140 billion. Some analysts believe the final number could exceed $160 billion. That makes Sentinel the most expensive missile program in U.S. history. More than any aircraft, more than most ship classes, more than programs that were canceled for being too expensive. And this is where the political fight begins. Critics argue the money is better spent elsewhere, that submarines alone can handle the deterrent mission, that fixed silos are Cold War relics, vulnerable to increasingly accurate missiles, that $140 billion could modernize the entire bomber fleet twice over, or fund a decade of shipbuilding, or address dozens of other capability gaps. Proponents argue that abandoning land-based ICBMs would be strategic suicide, that it would simplify an adversary's targeting problem, that it would signal weakness at exactly the wrong moment. That submarines are survivable but not invulnerable, and betting the entire deterrent on underwater platforms is a gamble no serious strategist should take. Both sides have valid points, but neither side is addressing the real question, because the real cost isn't just financial. China is building new missile fields in its western deserts. Satellite imagery shows hundreds of new silos under construction. Russia is deploying the Sarmat, a heavy ICBM designed to carry multiple warheads and penetrate missile defenses. Both nations are modernizing faster than U.S. intelligence predicted. Both are signaling that nuclear forces are a priority. The United States is running to catch up, and the race is expensive. If Sentinel is delayed, if costs force cuts, if the program stumbles, the perception shifts. Adversaries begin to see the land-based leg as degraded, unreliable, vulnerable. That perception, even if wrong, is destabilizing. It changes how adversaries calculate risk in a crisis. It affects whether they believe a first strike could succeed. and it undermines the foundational logic of deterrence, which is that retaliation is certain. Sentinel is not just about missiles, it's about credibility. And credibility is what keeps nuclear weapons from being used. But credibility has a price, and that price is now higher than anyone expected. Land-based ICBMs occupy a strange strategic space. They are the most vulnerable leg of the triad and the most stabilizing. The silos are fixed. Their locations are known. In a nuclear exchange, they would be primary targets. An adversary would have to expend hundreds of warheads just to destroy them. That absorption of incoming weapons protects submarines and bombers, which are harder to find and harder to kill. The ICBMs act as a nuclear sponge. They force the adversary to waste resources targeting them, instead of going after the more survivable legs. But this only works if the missiles are credible. If adversaries think they won't launch, or if the infrastructure is so degraded that they might not work, the sponge collapses. The adversary ignores them or allocates fewer resources. That shifts the entire burden to submarines and bombers, and suddenly the triad is a dyad. Sentinel restores that credibility. But it also raises a harder question. Is a modern, highly capable ICBM force stabilizing or destabilizing? Some strategists argue that investing in land-based missiles sends the wrong signal, that it looks like an arms race, that it increases tensions when tensions are already high, that it gives adversaries an incentive to strike first before the new missiles are deployed. Others argue the opposite, that weakness invites aggression, that letting the Minuteman III decay signals retreat, that adversaries interpret restraint as vulnerability, that the only language great powers understand is capability, and the only way to prevent war is to make clear that war would be catastrophic for everyone. Both arguments are being made right now in classified strategy reviews, and the outcome will shape nuclear policy for the next 50 years. The cost overruns have triggered a Nunn-McCurdy breach, a legal threshold that forces the Pentagon to justify continuing or cancel the program. The Pentagon chose to continue. The justification was blunt. There is no alternative. The Minuteman III cannot be sustained indefinitely. Canceling Sentinel means accepting a future where the land-based leg of the triad withers and eventually disappears. That is not a future the Department of Defense is willing to accept. But continuing means absorbing costs that will strain the defense budget for decades. It means trade-offs. Other programs will be cut. Other priorities will be delayed. And the strategic gamble is this, that spending $140 billion on missiles sitting in silos is worth it. That the presence of those missiles, the certainty that they can launch, the complexity they create for an adversary, is enough to prevent a nuclear war. That gamble has worked for 70 years. The question is whether it will work for 70 more. The LGM-35 Sentinel will be operational by the early 2030s. It will sit in silos across the Great Plains, armed, ready, on alert. The crews will watch the screens, the keys will be held, the command structure will function, and the missiles will wait. They will wait because they have to. Because the only successful nuclear deterrent is one that never launches. Because the purpose of these weapons is not to fight a war, but to prevent one. Because the cost of failure, the cost of letting the deterrent erode, the cost of appearing weak or uncertain is higher than any dollar figure Congress will ever debate. Whether land-based ICBMs still make sense in the 21st century is an open question. Whether $140 billion is too much to spend on a weapon that may never be used is a fair debate. But the United States has made its choice. The missiles will be built, the silos will be modernized, and the most expensive weapons program in American history will sit underground, hoping it never has to prove it was worth it. Because the moment it does, nothing else will matter.